Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Muhammad Yazid S54420. Today I'm going to present about the ocean ion fertilization. So, what is ion fertilization? Ion fertilization is an effective method to stimulate the oceanic carbon sequestration through biological pump in limited high nutrient and low chlorophyll regions. Basically, what this means, we are pumping iron into the ocean to stimulate the growth of primary producer. As you can see from the picture, it shows an idea of how the iron fertilization happened. Next, how did they know about the atmospheric gas composition in the ancient time? They discovered this by analyzing the trapped air bubbles in the Arctic and Antarctic ice cores. It has shown that the atmospheric carbon dioxide around 180 part per million during the last glacial max, which was 20,000 years ago, and it is much lower than the pre-industrial time, which are 280 part per million. So, how did Martins come to this finding? During the last glacial maximum, it is known that the weather is very dry and the wind pushed all the dust into the ocean. The dust contained a lot of iron, so Martin hypothesized that during the last glacial maximum, an increase in dust input containing iron substantially enhanced the biological pump in high nutrient, low chlorophyll region in the southern ocean. As you can see from the map, the water temperature during that time was very low. So what is the main objective of this ocean ion fertilization? The main objective of this experiment is to tackle climate change by pumping iron into the ocean to trigger the growth of primary producer. Next, the area of iron fertilization. They use ion fertilization in the waters of Antarctic Ocean, Equatorial Pacific, and the Gulf of Alaska because it has found that in this region the iron present in water are in very low concentration. How can we relate when the amount of iron increase, the number of carbon dioxide decrease? We know that iron are the essential nutrient for the phytoplankton to grow. Only a small amount of iron needed to stimulate a strong growth of primary producer. This ocean ion fertilization has demonstrated, particularly in the Southern Ocean, that the primary producer could be significantly increased after iron addition. When the growth of phytoplankton increase, we know that they undergo photosynthesis, and when they undergo photosynthesis, they will use a lot of carbon dioxide for their respiration. When a huge amount of carbon dioxide has been consumed by this organism, the amount of carbon dioxide in the air has been decreased and it will cool down Earth. How many experiments has been done to study the ocean ion fertilization in the field? There are a total of 13 of ocean ion fertilization experiment has been conducted in high nutrient low chlorophyll region. However, in every experiment there must be a limitation. 8 out of 13 experiments have shown their limitation. First one, subduction of the fertilized patch. Next, single ion addition, insufficient experimental periods, and micro or macronutrient limitation. Second, no export flux measurement in the deep ocean and insufficient experimental duration. Third, insufficient experimental duration. Fourth, light limitation by storm. Of course, when there's no light, the primary producer cannot undergo photosynthesis, thus they cannot grow. And then fifth, entrainment of dissolved silicate into the fertilized patch by physical mixing. And no direct measurement of export flux with sediment traps. 6. Insufficient experimental duration too. 7. High dilution rate by small patch size. And lastly, there are only single ion addition and insufficient experimental duration. Are all the experiments managed to achieve their main aim? Well, only 12 out of 13 experiments has succeeded. The failed missions are known as European Iron Fertilization Experiment, has failed to show the increased number of primary producers. As we can see from the graph, the number from the inside patch has decreased significantly from the outside patch. How to improve the experiment in the future and what should we consider? Firstly, timing. We know that the earth undergoes seasonal change, and with every seasonal change they carry a different amount of nutrient and sunlight. Next is location. We should consider which location is the best experiment, as what we have learned from the study, they found that the ocean where the iron are in low concentration are the best place to conduct the experiment. After that, the duration. We should consider how long does the duration taken for the maximum amount of phytoplankton bloom. After that, a good strategy such as a planning, timing, and also a good method of patching. After that, an effective tracing of fertilized patch. Of course, after we deploy the patch and iron, we need to track it down. In the study done, they use the satellite and also a buoy tracking. And lastly, the possible side effect. In every experiment conducted in the nature, we should also consider the possible side effect that it will cause to the nature, so that will not harm the ecosystem. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.